In this video, we're working on the BMW X6. I nearly called it an X5. First and foremost, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who's come back to the channel. If you haven't seen my channel, check it out. Check out all my stuff. But this is a BMW. I'm mainly used to doing Volkswagens, to be fair. But look what we've got. That's what I'm talking about. It's a step up from the Golf for sure. This car was a close family friend's car, and it developed a bit of a, I say a bit, it developed a huge intermittent stop-start fault. This car would cut out on the motorway, randomly, at the shops, everywhere. So it really started to become a bit of a risk to drive, because as you can understand, once it shuts down, you've got no power steering, you've got no brakes, clearly no gears, and you know, just crazy. It's just unlimited amounts of dangers you could go into. Now previously he had spent a small fortune, to be fair, trying to work out what the problem was. I'm not going to say the number because this is horrible, to be fair. So after being unable to actually find the issue of the car, he decided to sell it off, and I got the opportunity to buy it. So that's why it's here, giving you guys great content. So the video now starts where I've actually started to strip down and started to do a bit of diagnosis on the engine, trying to find this problem and fix it. So yep, enjoy the video. So let me explain what I've just done here. I've stripped off just the plastic stuff. If you know BMWs, I've got loads of plastic. So I've taken off all the engine covers, and there's a couple of plastic bits over here and here. After that, I've removed the pollen filter, which is located about here, and there's a little tunnel that goes in there as well. That was all kind of loose. And then I've come to this ECU plug, and I know just by chasing that these wires here, this part of the loom here has been replaced, and it's the injector loom. It's the loom for the injectors. So what I've done from here is that I have tested these circuits, so to speak, and checked for resistance, because they should have the resistance of the injector that's over there. This proves that, like, from here we've got good communication coming up to the ECU, because when you don't know what the problem is, you want to know whether it's the injector, the wiring, or the ECU. So instead of going direct to the injector and removing the this manifold, I thought this was easy just to move the plastics and get to here. So once we've got to here, this white little section at the top and these two here are the 6 injectors. Now they're split up into 3 and 3, 1 to 3, 4 to 6, and this is what I've tested for resistance. And we've picked up low resistance on this last one here. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So I'm just going to proceed to now remove the inlet manifold and work out exactly which injector it is, because I don't have the schematics or the wiring diagram to know which one is which. So yep, we've got to remove the inlet manifold now and try and get the injector and test the injector at the injector point, just to make sure that there isn't an issue between the injector wiring between there to there. So that's the next move. Inlet manifold is off. That's over here. You can see that there. It's all off in one piece. This manifold has had the swirl flap delete, which I advise that. It's a good delete to do, because this will cause you havoc, really big problems if you don't get that sorted. Quite oily down there. Don't know if you guys can see that, but quite oily down there. I can only assume that this gasket is leaking because it looks a bit wet around here. So I'm probably going to have to replace that gasket and do it up to spec, so that you don't get like this mess down here, which is really super difficult to clean once it's there. So the glow plugs have been done, but you can see that's caked up. So I'm just going to try and clean it as best as I can. But the most important thing to do with this stuff is to cover these holes. So we've got to cover these holes, these inlets, top and bottom, because we don't want anything going in there. But before I do that, I'm going to give it a little clean up, a little spray up with some brake clean, and seal it up after that. So yeah, you can watch me do that. Okay, so we've cleaned up the inlet ports and they look a lot better than they did. So now I'll be able to, when I put the manifold back on with the new gasket, it'll be able to seal, and we'll have less of that oil leak down here. It's just a bit of loose work really, but we'll talk it down to specs, and hopefully that should keep it nice and good and not have to deal with anything. So yep, let's move on. So what we're going to do now is we're going to check all of the injectors and make sure that they are within spec, and make sure the reading that I got from the ECU loom is consistent with the reading at this point here. So we're going to take off the loom off all of them, all the injectors, and I'm going to check them one by one, and hopefully they're all in spec apart from the one that was coming up funny here. Let's just hope it's consistent and there's no problems, otherwise more work. Put us 200k ohms, and I'm going to use my little, try and touch them. So cool. Hi. Hi, Kira. Okay, so I hope I got that for you. But it seems that number 5 is the one with the low resistance. Everything else seems to be pretty good, which is a great thing. So number 5 seems to be the one with the low resistance. So that's the one we're going to have to approach. Here's the intake manifold, and you can see signs of weeping. Particularly at 1 and 2, to be fair. Quite a lot of grease around here and stuff. And also we've got one rubber from it missing. Now I don't know if that was missing from before or whatever it was, but what I need to make sure is that it's not in cylinder 6 when I come to putting it back on, because if that's inside the engine that would be a problem. But you can see it's kind of been leaking around here. I'm not really happy with that. I'm going to have to replace these rubber gasket seals, this one here, and just give it just general cleanup really. I'm going to replace these seals as well. These look a bit dead, so yeah, just give it a little clean up, little tidy up. Good practice, that's all. So this just arrived from Amazon. Not too much to me.